Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. And he's got radioactive blood. Yep, he can swing from a thread. Take a look overhead. There goes a Spider-Man. In the thrill of the night, he'll scene of the crime. Like a stream of light, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Welcome, face. Action is his reward. To him, life is a great big hang up. Whenever there's a hold up, you'll find the Spider-Man. Okay, very good. Here we go. So just coming back, this is classic text adaptation, Spider-Man. I mean, these guys, the flightless little fowl, did other particular classics first, like the Black Panther. I mean, 1960s, you could get a comic, a child, and read about a man, a black man getting shot in the back and him getting away with that crime. And the authors at the time, Ditko and his mates, mentioned that people should stand up, and the government saw this as some type of political rebellion, and then they started burning the books. The comics, which classroom teachers, according to Bill Saunders, professor, who's the editor of this new Penguin classic, which stands out on the shelf with its orange, mentioned, yeah, that with great power comes great responsibility. And that's a challenge of the genre. And it asks us to think about that. He also mentions that this particular Penguin classic looks into the first 10 years of the company. And so for someone who's continuing to write the story or even catching up on the history of the text, they're quite good in that regard, in a classroom or future creator, I should say. I just mentioned Steve Ditko and Stan Lee. Those were the guys who did that comic at the beginning. And the hand-drawn style obviously evolved into what it is now. They laughed at me for being a bookworm. Only a science major could have created a device like this, says Spider-Man. Okay, there it is there, 57 years ago, March 10th, 1963. Brian Mays of Queen. Okay. Superhero genre. Here we come. Okay, so someone murdered Uncle Ben. Who did it? You can see the classic text there. Why has it become a classic? Popular culture, um, and art is becoming one of the increasingly valued subjects, genres of today. Okay, here we go. Bit of a Disney quote there. I tell my students that in the class. It's a timeline. Over there we have 1967, and up the top, obviously it went from TV show. In the middle, we've got some more cartoon. I think there's like a cartoon movie as well. And up the top, Spider-Man, he sort of shifts to the middle ground over time, which is now, um, up to now, shifting towards the middle ground from being the star, because you've got Benedict Cumberbatch as the Doctor Strangelove, uh, who's a chairman of Lambda, which is nice to do the London Academy of Music and Drama. That certificate in the classroom is quite good too. Um, and you've got Iron Man. You've got other guys who are prominently involved in the Avengers, and Spider-Man just being a key part. Oh, sorry, a cog in that whole Marvel Universe machine. Okay, we've got the need to bring the theme of classic text to modern cultures, especially when film creators feel that some of the context might not be applicable to modern society. One of the main reasons of the film adaptations, um, of how intended objectives can be lost in translation by diluting the original text. Um, that's a debatable point, I would say. Um, some of the poignancy of um, those early 60s ones, for example, that we mentioned at the beginning about the guy being shot in the back. That probably is not going to be in the movie these days. Um, there are aspects of characters with similar attributes joining forces to bring an end to the villain in the film. Heroism, similar to the original text, I guess, and the theme of great power, great responsibility. Besides the novel, the audience knows about the preliminaries and challenges which Spider Man faces in his twofold life, Peter Parker and Spidey. Okay. The theme runs with Clark Kent and Daily Planet as well. They both have similar characters. It's important to note that even though the film adaptation focused on several spider individuals as opposed to the original text, which was presented as a single Spider Man, who was presented as a superhero. Um, so, offering different perspectives and also the ever flowing theme of being harassed at youth, outcast in social circles. Um, Spider Man understands the need to help those who need his help. And the hand drawn style we saw at the beginning of the comic feel um, expresses the inner monologue of Spider Man. Um, the characters create a moving comic world that allows the audience to focus on specific moments at any given time. Spider-Verse film adaptation of the classic comic text Spider-Man brings the original message to the viewers without faltering. Adaptations have been blamed for ruining the original themes of the original text. That can be attributed to the creators' need to incorporate what they perceive as modernity in the adaptation. Okay. So overall, the film presents the act of being a superhero comically and tends to incorporate the original themes of the classic comic text. We have a few references at the end there. And I hope you enjoyed some of the ideas of the Spidey presentation. Thank you very much.